It is time for the series finale between the Ohio Bobcats and the Central Michigan Chippewas. Alongside Charlie James, my name is Sam Hyman. Thanks for being with us live in Athens, Ohio, Bob Wren Stadium. Bobcats trying to avoid the sweep against the Central Michigan Chippewas. Charlie, the first two games of this series took place yesterday. Ohio fell 14-7 and then 4-1. What would you like to see from them to try and get back on track today?
A little bit of run support is going to be key here for the Bobcats. You saw it in game 2 yesterday. Hudson McCall went with 9 Ks, only 6 hits given up, and 3 earned runs. But the bats just weren't getting it done for the Bobcats. Only 1 run for OU yesterday. But looking to see if they can pick that up a little bit, and defensively look to see a little bit more aggressiveness, not only from the infielders and the corners and Nick Dolan, but from the outfielders too, coming in on balls a little bit more aggressively and getting more active in the play.
So Ohio will turn to Dylan Masters in game 3. Masters warming up right now. He is a 6'3" junior from New Albany, Ohio, out of New Albany High School. And Charlie, he's been really good this season. 5th start today. He's got a .270 earned run average. You got to see him last weekend.
Yeah, Dylan Masters was a pretty key piece for the Bobcats. He's thrown 20 innings so far, only given up 21 hits. 7 runs have crossed, only 6 of them are earned with 21 strikeouts, yet to give up a long ball so far here in 2025. His last start out was on March 9th against Bowling Green. Through six innings, with 5 Ks, gave up 3 walks and only 1 hit, 0 earned runs to his name. So Dylan Masters has been the picture of consistency for the Bobcats so far in 2025.
Pretty similar lineups for both of these teams in the series finale. Central Michigan coming in with a 5-14 record overall, 2-0 in conference play. Ohio is 4-13 and 0-5 in conference play. The starting lineup for Central Michigan: Mikey Murphy leads off. Cole Prout hits second. Caden Smith bats third. Aaron Piasecki is the cleanup hitter. Jake Catella is the number 5 hitter. Nathan Ball, Bryson Webb, Aiden Wright, and Zach Knowlton round out the starting lineup. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner, and we are underway at Bob Wren Stadium. First pitch at 2:03 Eastern Time. Our game time temperature is 72 degrees with wind gusts up to close to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's some storms passing through Ohio, pretty much right down the center, splitting Cincinnati and Athens in 2.
Popped up first base side and playable. Wind brushed that back into play for Wes Lugg, and he makes the catch. The wind is gusting from right to left, so it looked like that ball was going out of play, instead foul ground.
Yeah, Wes Lugg. It was a good job by him just reading the ball, knowing that where the wind was, and kind of feeling out where he was in relation to the wall there. 1 down for the Bobcats.
Next batter is Cole Prout, the right fielder. Boy, was he busy yesterday. 7 RBIs, hit 2 massive home runs. Game 1, grand slam, part of that 11-run third inning in that first game. This ball shot into left field, and Brady Alexander plays it on a hop, and Cole Prout continues his impressive weekend. He hit the big 3-run homer in game 2, Charlie, and that broke a 1-1 tie and ultimately was the difference in the game.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in the Bowling Green series earlier this month, where they've had close games. It's been 3 2-run games going into the 7th and 6th, but all of a sudden, just something goes wrong for the Bobcats and they just compile mistakes a little bit, and all of a sudden the game gets blown wide open, and it's something that Coach Craig Moore is going to want to cut down on a little bit.
So Cole Prout is aboard at first. This is Caden Smith, the freshman shortstop. And it's quickly 0-2. Defensively surrounding Dylan Masters in the outfield, left to right. Same outfield alignment. Brady Alexander makes his 3rd consecutive start. Actually, 4th consecutive start. He's in left field. That misses outside. Paulie Mancino is in center. Ben Slanker is in right field. Nick Dolan at third base. J.R. Nelson, the shortstop. Matt Einich at second. Wes Lugg at first. Jackson Cawthron is the catcher. 1-2 is rolled over to third. Nick Dolan throws to second for 1. Turn to first is late, but Ohio gets the lead runner, and there are 2 down.
It's a good job there by Masters, working fast. The big lefty keeping Prout close at first base, and just a short chopper over there to Nick Dolan, who, has seen those balls day in and day out, comfortably makes the play, 2 down in the inning.
Aaron Piaseki's turn, second baseman. And he takes low, ball 1. Dylan Masters' 5th start of the season. He's got a really good pitch mix, starting with the fastball. Split change as well. He'll sprinkle in a split change and a slider. So fastball, split changeup, and slider combination, really unique. You don't often hear about a split change. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that is outside, 3 balls and no strikes.
And one thing that's going to be an interesting matchup for Ohio, based on what they did against Bowling Green, is where they throw to lefties. They were very outside to lefties, inside to righties. That was kind of the trend for the Bobcats through that first series. As there's a great pitch there by Masters, catching the outside corner. First strike.
Dylan Masters started his college career at Murray State and only pitched in 4 games in 2022. Third season at Ohio. This is a ground ball through into right center field. First to third with 2 outs. Caden Smith. Smoke behind his wheels, and it's a first and third situation, Charlie, with 2 down. This is an area Central Michigan did a great job with 2 outs in their the doubleheader yesterday.
Yeah, being able to capitalize with runners in scoring position. They've only left 12 men on base so far through 2 games against Ohio. Let's see if they can capitalize here.
Jake Catella takes outside a ball 1. Masters has the best ERA out of any starter coming into the weekend. 2.70 ERA. 1-0. Rocketed into left field, and Central Michigan, the bats are still hot from yesterday. Throw to third late, Piasecki is there. And the Chippewas pounce early, up 1-0 on an RBI single from Jake Catella.
There's a good piece of hitting there from Catella. Just got a ball in on his hands, kind of jammed him a little bit, but just able to lift it into left field, and Alexander moving to his left. Nice heads-up play there from Ohio defensively to get the ball into Nick Dolan. Had a chance for a play there at third, but just not in time. And like you said, Central Michigan capitalizing again with runners in scoring position. It's 1-0.
Strike 1 to the first baseman, Nathan Ball. Nathan Ball put together a really good day in the doubleheader. He collected 4 hits, most out of any Central Michigan student athlete across the 2 games. A double, a single, a triple, and a home run. Those 4 hits. 0-2 the count. Dylan Masters fires, and the nasty off speed gets Nathan Ball, and the inning is over. Central Michigan scores on an RBI single from Jake Catella. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the first inning after this. Matt Einich, J.R. Nelson, and Trey Cassidy due up for the Bobcats, trying to pick up win number 1 on the season in conference play. We'll be back. Bottom of the first inning here at Bob Wren Stadium. Series finale between the Ohio Bobcats and the Central Michigan Chippewas. Ohio trying to avoid a sweep. They got swept last week against Bowling Green. Central Michigan took the first 2 games yesterday. The Chippewas, Charlie, turned to A.J. Kostick, the redshirt junior from Waddell, Arizona. First season with the Chippewas, available at least to pitch. He's been injured.
Yeah, Kostick, 0-2 start to this season. He's got a 6.75 ERA through 10 2/3 innings pitched. His last time out was a loss. Threw 3 1/3, and it surrendered 2 hits with 4 earned runs, 5 walks with only 2 strikeouts. So look for Ohio to be a little bit more patient at the plate and try to get some bases on balls.
Matt Einich, Ohio's second baseman, takes down and in, 2 balls and no strikes. A.J. Kostick, he has been with Central Michigan for 3 seasons, but did not pitch at all in 2023, didn't pitch at all in 2024. 2-0 is on the outside corner, strike 1. Dealt with 2 different injuries, most recently had to recover from Tommy John surgery, which is a very common injury, unfortunately, in baseball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So this season is his first real live action since he was at the junior college level in Texas, Wharton Junior College, and then Dawson Community College in Montana. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Einich rips it foul. Matt Einich had a day yesterday that he definitely doesn't normally have. He did collect a hit in game 1 to extend his hitting streak. He actually had 2 hits in game 1, but hitless in game 2 and 2 strikeouts. We'll see if he can bounce back here in game 3. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A.J. Kostick. And Einich shoots it into left field, a base hit. So he is back to work. Charlie, one of the best, if not the best hitters right now in the MAC.
Yeah, he's got a 4.72 average, which leads the MAC, and that was a great at-bat there. You saw Kostick go outside high with 2 straight fastballs, came inside and jammed him a little bit. Einich was able to foul it off, but Kostick comes back to where he found those 2 strikes on the outside half of the plate, and Einich did a great job just shooting that one into left field. First base runner aboard for the Bobcats here in the first.
J.R. Nelson swings and clobbers this ball into dead center field, drifting towards the left alley, and goodbye, J.R. Nelson. Second home run this weekend. A 2-run blast, and Ohio leads 2-1 here in the bottom of the first inning.
Great piece of hitting there from J.R. Nelson. Got his pitch right over the heart of the plate. It was a fastball with a little bit of heat taken off of it. Could have been a changeup, and just launched that one towards the scoreboard over that Bobcat sign out there in left center field. And J.R. Nelson tallies his 4th home run of the year, and the Bobcats are back on top.
It is windy here at Bob Wren Stadium. That ball started out dead center, and the wind just turned it left. And left center field over the wall. J.R. Nelson, 2-run homer. And a great response by Ohio after giving up a run in the top of the first inning. Trey Cassidy's turn. Catcher from the Detroit area.
There's 2 straight misses on the outside of the plate there. You saw in that at-bat with Matt Einich that Kostick was kind of peppering that high outside corner. But after giving up that home run over the heart of the plate, you're going to see him try to get batters to chase a little bit more. Trey Cassidy getting the better of him here, up 2-0.
Cassidy launches this into right field. Cole Prout is there. 1 out.
Trey Cassidy, normally living in the top 1 to 4 of this Ohio lineup, has been pretty consistent. And Coach Craig Moore, not a lot of variety in that top 4 of the lineup. But when you get down into the 5, 6, 7 spot with Nick Dolan, who's just a very seasoned guy, he's been around for about 5 years here, and then Jackson Calthron, who's had a great season. It helps a lot when you can have that kind of parity between the top and bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely solid consistency at the top of the order, without a doubt. Matt Einich, J.R. Nelson, Trey Cassidy, Ben Slanker, Nick Dolan. Those 5 guys. This is Ben Slanker, who has sort of closed off his stance here today. That front foot is more towards home plate. So definitely an interesting adjustment that at least I picked up on. He was a lot more open, or at least even with his front foot and back foot, but closed off right now. That's down and in, and it's
got him on the toe there.
Did it? It just did get him on the toe. You're right. Good call. And he is aboard for Ohio.
And you mentioned Slanker kind of closing off his stance there, and that's definitely in response to how Central Michigan is playing him. Shifted second baseman over kind of, midway to first base, and the outfield was shifted very similarly. Slanker's been known to pull balls. A lot of his home runs are going out over that 380 sign in right center field. So good job there by Slanker making an adjustment. And you saw him just get hit by that pitch there. That may have been because he brought his foot in.
1 ball and no strikes to Nick Dolan, the third baseman, who is working on a 10-game hitting streak right now. Redshirt senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are in the bottom of the first inning. Ohio leads 2-1, a 2-run homer for J.R. Nelson, his second of the weekend. Hit and run is on. Bryson Webb across the diamond, 2 down. Slanker moves over to second base. The defensive alignment is pretty much the exact same. It is the exact same as game 2 yesterday for the Chippewas. Mikey Murphy in left, Zach Knowlton in center, Cole Proud is in right, Bryson Webb, who just made that play, is at third. Caden Smith, the freshman shortstop, Aaron Piasecki at second base, the junior college All-American. Nathan Ball is at first, and Aiden Wright is the catcher. Jackson Cawthron at the plate, and he swings through an off speed, 0-1.
That was a great pitch there from Kostick. But this is a situation that we find the Bobcats in a lot, with a runner on second and 2 outs in the inning. It's not just about the amount of hits that they're putting up, but they got to be timely hits with runners in scoring position, and it's something that they have not been able to capitalize on so far this season.
Nasty off speed, and Cawthron goes around. Strike 2. Yesterday, Ohio out-hit Central Michigan in that 14-7 final score. 16-13, Ohio won the hit department. But to your point, it was a very scattered 16 hits across 9 innings. 0-2 the count to Jackson Cawthron. And the pitch. Just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's a good eye there by Cawthron. Was expecting him to maybe take a hack at that and try to foul it off, because we've seen strikes be called in that region of the strike zone, high and outside. It's a place where Kostick has lived here through 1 inning.
That hits Jackson Cawthron. So 2 hit batters in the inning for A.J. Kostick. And the Bobcats have runners at first and second with 2 down.
And if that didn't hit Cawthron, Slanker was halfway to third on that one. I don't know if there was some kind of play called by the third base coach, but Slanker was easily safe at third there if that ball didn't hit Cawthron.
On the outside corner, strike 1. This is Paulie Mancino, sophomore from Westlake, Ohio, out of St. Ignatius High School. Same place former Ohio Bobcat Tyler Finkler attended. Finkler on the 2017 MAC championship team for the Bobcats. That gets away, and the runners advance. Slanker moves to third, and Cawthron over to second. This is a big spot for the Bobcats if they want to send a message here. Down 2-0 in this series. 1 ball and 1 strike to Paulie Mancino. His last 4 games before this series, 7 hits and 5 RBIs. That's up and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. Yesterday, Paulie Mancino tripled. He recorded 2 hits yesterday, a triple and a single, but a ton of flyouts other than that. Foul ball, right side, 2-2.
Yeah, look for Kostick to come high and inside. It's a place where he's lived against righties, and it's paid off pretty well. Maybe off speed here, you saw that pitch against Jackson Catherine had him way out in front. 2-2.
Fly ball down the right field line. Long run, Cole Prout in foul ground, and he can't make the catch. So we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Very aggressive base running here from Ben Slanker at third base. You see him take 5 or 6 really hard steps towards the plate almost every pitch. And that's something you see a lot of out of Ohio when runners are on first base, not necessarily at second or third, but taking a couple really hard steps towards the next bag with that secondary lead can kind of live in a pitcher's head a little bit.
Yeah, you can be a little bit more aggressive with those leads, especially with 2 outs. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Paulie Mancino. AJ Kostick deals outside, 3-2.
It was a great job there by Aiden Wright, keeping that ball in front. It's a turf backstop here at Bob Wren Stadium, and there's a little bit of padding on the backstop, but not much to keep this ball from getting away. So Aiden Wright's going to have to come up big here for Central Michigan.
3 balls and 2 strikes. AJ Kostick is over 25 pitches in this inning. And Mancino keeps on battling. Central Michigan yesterday didn't use a lot of relievers yesterday. Second game, only 1 reliever. Justin Morgan tossed 4 innings. And then the 3 relievers used in game 1, very few number of pitches. Heck of an at-bat here by Mancino. 3-2, 2 outs. Ohio trying to pick up win number 1 in conference play. They're 0-5, got swept by Bowling Green, and lost the doubleheader yesterday to Central Michigan. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Long look in here.
Yeah, definitely taking a lot of time. Pitch clock at 3. Mancino takes this ball for a ride. Right center field. And Mikey Murphy, Zach Knowlton, pardon me, is over there and makes the catch for out number 3. So limited damage done by Ohio. 2-run homer off the bat of J.R. Nelson. We go to the 2nd inning after this in our series finale at Bob Wren Stadium. Top of the second inning here at Bob Redden Stadium with Charlie James. I'm Sam Hyman. Dylan Masters back to work here in the top of the second, and a first pitch strike to Bryson Webb. Count is 0-1. Ohio leads 2-1. J.R. Nelson, a 2-run homer in the first inning after Central Michigan got an RBI single from Jake Catella. And Dylan Masters hits Bryson Webb. And Masters, frustrated with himself as expected, slapped his glove on his leg. Here's Aiden Wright coming to the plate.
Yeah, Dylan Masters not big in the business of giving up free bases. He only has 8 walks surrendered so far this season, but first hit batter there for Central Michigan. And we'll see if they kind of follow the Bobcats' footsteps and get a little bit more aggressive on the base pass here.
1 ball and no strikes to Aiden Wright.
Although we did see Trey Cassidy and Calthron yesterday throw out some Chippewa base runners.
Yes, 2 of them, actually. Jackson threw 1 guy out in the first game, and Trey Cassidy threw somebody out in the second game.
It's a good job here by Masters, kind of just keeping his pace. He likes to work quick from that left side of the rubber. Runner goes.
There goes Bryson Webb in foul ground, and the count is 2-1 to Aiden Wright.
That was a good jump there by Webb. He would have had that base easily. As we saw Masters kind of take his time there on the mound, usually he is quick in the windup and comes straight home. A little bit of a hit and run going on there for Central Michigan. We'll see if they come back to it here with 1 strike.
That's a strike on the inside corner, and the count's 2-2. Aiden Wright started game 2 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch twice and singled. .227 batting average this season for Wright in 7 starts. A check over at first. It's been a good catching combination between Aiden Wright and Spencer Verberg. Coach Sable, Jake Sable, the head coach of the Chippewas, emphasized how those 2 guys have been really good in complementing each other game in and game out. 2-2.
It's a good job mixing it up here from Masters. You saw those first 2 pitches breaking towards the outer half of the plate here to the right-handed hitting Wright. But he came back with a fastball on the inside for a strike. Fastball again there, kind of jammed him. Wright was able to foul it off here.
Big secondary lead, hit and run, works into left field and heads towards the wall. Bryson Webb rounds third and scores all the way from first base. An RBI double off the bat of Aiden Wright. It is his first double of this season, and Central Michigan ties the game at 2.
There's another good piece of hitting there from Wright. Got a ball in the inside corner of the plate and just drove it into left field, knowing that hit and run was on, had to make contact. And that ball didn't look like it had a whole lot of steam on it, but it just carried all the way to the warning track. And Alexander was unable to get it in time.
Ball 1 to Zach Knowlton, Central Michigan's number 9 hitter. And Zach Knowlton strikes this ball over J.R. Nelson into left field, a base hit. Here comes the runner, Aiden Wright from second. And Central Michigan, in a blink of an eye, they've got the lead right back, 3-2. And that dugout, they have been energized all weekend long. 2 wins yesterday, and they want the sweep on the road for a team that they've been on the road since Monday. They played 2 games against Marshall at Marshall earlier this week. And Coach Sable, he told me how impressed he would be with his team if they're able to solidify the back end of this road trip.
If they keep getting base knocks like that from Knowlton, they will be doing just fine in the eyes of Coach Sable. That ball just drifting over the head there of J.R. Nelson at shortstop. and found some grass out in left field. Brady Alexander still playing considerably deep in left, given the fact that at least two balls have dropped in front of him. Look to see if Ohio maybe makes an adjustment here now that Central Michigan's retaking the lead.
Top of the order, this is Mikey Murphy paddling with 2 strikes, the sophomore from Minooka, Illinois, who has been very good against Ohio in his young career. 5 hits against the Bobcats in the series last year and 8 RBIs. That pitch gets away from Dylan Masters. Mikey Murphy yesterday collected 3 hits, 3 singles in game 1. The 1-2. Inside corner, called strike 3. And that's the first out here in the top of the 2nd inning. The next batter is Cole Prouts. Well, when I asked Coach Sable of Central Michigan about this lineup, a lineup that does have a lot of new faces on the roster, not a lot of position players are back from a season ago, but the one thing that he did really stress to me was how he wants his guys to know it doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. You have to be able to produce. We have had very different number of lineup combinations throughout the season, and don't let that get in your head where you're at in the lineup.
Seeing some lazy pickoff moves here from Masters. Cole Prout, definitely a guy that can do some damage with runners on base. As you mentioned earlier, a grand slam in game 1, runner goes.
Zach Knowlton is speedy, but how about Trey Cassidy? He's got the cannon behind home plate. And Zach Knowlton, who was 9 for 9 in stolen base attempts before the weekend, he has been thrown out twice this weekend. Cole Prout singles up the middle with 2 outs. He is 2 for 2 today.
And it's going to rely here on, Caden Smith and Aaron Pischetti to see if they can kind of pick up Cole Prout. Prout not spent a whole lot of time on base here in these 3 games, but was out in a fielder's choices. Prout's going to run.
A lot of aggressive play, and Central Michigan thrown out on the base paths, not once, but twice. Trey Cassidy catches 2 Chippewas trying to steal second base. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Right after this, Ohio trails Central Michigan 3-2 after the Chippewas answer back with 2 runs in the top of the 2nd inning. We'll be back in a moment at Bob Wrenn Stadium. We are back here at Bob Wrenn Stadium. Game 3 of our 3-game series this weekend in Athens, Ohio. The Bobcats dropped the first 2 games 14-7 and then 4-1. And they are down 3-2 here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Back with Charlie James, I'm Sam Hyman. Wes Lugg, The first baseman steps to the plate for Ohio, making his third start of the season, second consecutive start. Foul ball on the first pitch.
Yeah, Wes Slug in the first game yesterday, 2 for 2 with 1 home run, had an RBI single as well. And as you mentioned, not started a whole lot of games here for Ohio. Got his first home run of the season yesterday, the big first baseman. A lot of bat speed. When he swings, he likes to get a hold of his pitches. As we've seen 2 really hard cuts here from Wes Slug, but he was down 0-2.
Wes Slug really muscled that home run over the right center field wall back in the second game of this series.
Wes Slug, he's hitting .333 so far on the season, so he's kind of found that balance between power and contact.
Breaking ball catches the inside corner, and Lug is down on strikes. First strikeout of the game by A.J. Kostick. Again, this is a young man who has not pitched a lot in his college career. He unfortunately dealt with 2 season-ending injuries, most recently Tommy John. This is his third start in 2025, 10 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs allowed across those 10 2/3 innings, and he's got a tall order ahead of him. And this Ohio offense that coming into the weekend, second best batting average, a .297 batting average for the Bobcats. 1-0 is fouled back. Brady Alexander at the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Coach Sable was thrilled with the performances on the mound yesterday, reading Central Michigan's postgame article on their athletics website. Coach Sable, high praise for the Game 1 starter, Alejandro Espinoza. That is a strike 1 and 2. Coach Sable said, I don't think we've had any performance like the one Alejandro Espinoza had. He threw 133 pitches and tossed 7 innings of work. A quick pitch here. Slow dribbler to second. Aaron Piasecki throws to first. And 2 down. When you get that type of performance, Charlie, from a starting pitcher, 7 innings, and you navigate around 11 hits and throw 133 pitches and get the win, that's really impressive for your team.
Yeah, that's something else from Central Michigan. And it allows your batting order to kind of gain some confidence going into the next inning, knowing, hey, we might go 1-2-3 this inning, but our guy can pick us up. You know, he can navigate around hits, and our defense is kind of sticking up for him a little bit. As we're seeing a little bit of that here today. Ohio only been able to strike on the long ball, but the Chippewa defense has been holding pretty firm here so far this afternoon.
3 runs for Central Michigan on 6 hits, no errors. Ohio 2 runs on 2 hits and no errors. This is Matt Einich, top of the order, the table setter. 1 ball and 1 strike. The other pitcher yesterday, outside of Evan Waters, the starter, and Alejandro Espinoza, the other starter, Justin Morgan was sensational out of the bullpen in Game 2. Went 4 innings, and he got the win. That is a ball to Matt Einich, 2-1. 4 innings, 0 runs, 0 walks, 2 strikeouts. And Coach Sable said that it was the best bullpen performance we've got all season. Ground ball to short. This is Caden Smith, and the freshman throws it to first, bobbled by Nathan Ball. And Einich is safe at first with 2 outs.
And we saw a little bit of trouble yesterday, at least 1 error from Central Michigan coming at the hands of Smith, the shortstop. That one just unable to connect. Just diving towards the ground as it got to first base. Einich able to reach safely on an error.
It is an error, yes. It should be on the first baseman. I would think Nathan Ball, who just dropped it. I think if he squeezed the mitt in that spot, it would have been in time. But the door is left open for J.R. Nelson, who homered his last time up, as the wind picks up here at Bob Wren Stadium. Expecting wind gusts upwards of 30 miles an hour.
It was a good pitch there from Kostick. He's kind of confused as to why that wasn't called a strike. on the inside corner. He's been kind of living there for righties, but he left one out over the plate for J.R. Nelson last time up.
Matt Einich with a strong secondary lead. 2 balls and no strikes to J.R. Nelson. You definitely don't want to play around with J.R. Nelson in the batter's box. He is an absolute workhorse. Balk. A.J. Kostick was on the mound. He was on the rubber when he made that move. And Einich moves up to second base. That's a big miscue. Now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in an inning that looked like it was going to go by in a flash. 3-0.
It's an interesting couple of pitches here from Kostick. Came inside high, missed inside, and then 2 straight balls low and away, really making Aiden Wright work there behind the dish.
There's a strike, 3-1.
And I'm kind of surprised J.R. Nelson didn't have a green light there. With 2 down in the inning and a runner in scoring position, you're going to get a ball over the heart of the plate and delivered a fastball right there. Nelson laid off, it's 3-1.
A.J. Kostick looks over at second. The junior college transfer deals outside, ball 4. So that error could come back to haunt Central Michigan right now. It extended the inning, the error by first baseman Nathan Ball. It is very windy out here, so you do wonder, even on a throw by one of the infielders to first base, if the wind is giving these student athletes some hiccups.
And it's interesting to see how Knowlton out there in center field is playing, still over to the left side of that 405 sign in center field, as this ball just gets away from Aiden Wright. I thought it was fouled off, ended up just underneath him. Runners will move up. But Knowlton out there in center, regardless of the fact that Trey Cassidy is left-handed, still playing to the left of that 405 sign in dead center field, adjusting for the wind.
Trey Cassidy takes low. Trey Cassidy, a big, big part of this offense. Sophomore from Northville, Michigan. 17 starts this season, 344 average coming into the weekend. 1 ball and 1 strike. A.J. Kostick very patient on the mound. And Cassidy, a skyscraper. The wind could play some tricks on this ball in right field. It's spinning, and Cole Prout makes the catch to retire the side. So Central Michigan walks towards the end of the diving board and does not fall off. They hang on to this 3-2 lead through 2 innings. We go to the 3rd right after this, our series finale between Ohio and Central Michigan, live here in Athens. Top of the third inning we go here at Bob Brennan Stadium. Central Michigan protecting a 3-2 lead right now in the series finale. And this first pitch is hammered into left center field, ticketed for two. Caden Smith, the freshman shortstop, with his helmet off and the wind howling at Bob Brennan Stadium, has a leadoff double.
First pitch swinging for the Chippewas here in the top of the third. We saw that a little bit in the top of the first, and then they kind of laid off a little bit as Masters kind of lost control. But first pitch swinging, an aggressive look here for the Chippewas. And as you mentioned, Caden Smith just poking that one out in the left field.
Corner infielders are in. Strike one to Aaron Piasecki. How about Caden Smith? He's had a great season. Coach Sable said he's been a pleasant surprise for us as a freshman out of Beale City High School. Lake Isabella, Michigan native. That's bunted foul. And the count is 0-2. Committed initially to Kent State, Caden Smith, and then decommitted, and Coach Sable calls him tough. I would fill my lineup with 9 Caden Smiths if I could. And he's had a great first year.
That's always great to hear if you're a baseball player that your coach wants 9 of you.
Poked in the air to center field, and the stop sign on. Big throw, Paulie Mancino, and heads up base running. Aaron Piasecki advances to second base on the throw. So that'll go down as a single, and then advancing to second on the throw. Second and third, nobody out. Yeah, I think it'd be funny one day if Jake Sable just wrote a lineup card out and it had Caden Smith, Caden Smith, Caden Smith, 1 through 9 as a joke.
That was an excellent throw there from Paulie Mancino. He got all of that one, laid out for it, and I'd rather give up that base at second than another run here at this stage of the game.
Wise decision by Jake Sable over at third base, the third base coaching box, to stop Caden Smith. Remember, Central Michigan has been thrown out on the base pass quite a bit this weekend. 2 stolen base attempts haven't gone their way in this game. Ground ball to first. West Luggs stares down Smith at third and scurries to first. Huge out with the runners staying put. Jake Catella retired.
Yeah, the corner's in there. West Lugg, as you said, staring that ball down. Able to keep the runners put. That's a huge out there for Dylan Masters.
Nathan Ball trying to redeem himself. He committed an error in the last half inning. And look out, that ball clips Nathan Ball. And he runs down to first base.
That's the second hit batter here for Dylan Masters in this game. And bases loaded here with 1 down in the inning. And we saw a lot during that Bowling Green series, Ohio electing to intentionally walk batters in order to force the bases loaded. West Lugg playing at the edge of that infield grass. Nick Dolan playing in as well.
Backdoor breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Corner infielders are in. Middle infielders double play depth. Dylan Masters needs to find a way. It's a 1-run game right now. Central Michigan on top. And Bryson Webb rolls the wrists over, strike 1.
You see out there in center field, Mancino playing to the left of that 405 sign. Kind of a little bit in the same way that Knowlton was for Central Michigan, adjusting to the wind.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. Bryson Webb, .348 batting average coming into today. This is his 7th start of the season for the redshirt sophomore from De Pere, Wisconsin. 2-2.
This would be a big one here for Masters if he could get a strikeout here. As we mentioned, or wanted to mention, coming into this game, not only getting outs, but getting timely outs in order to shift momentum for Ohio is something that they've been, really struggling with so far this season.
Ooh, that one was just low. Full count. Massive moment right here for both teams. Central Michigan has 8 hits in this game already. Only 3 runs to show for it, but they got the bases loaded. The payoff. Inside, ball 4. And a bases loaded walk. Caden Smith scores, and it's 4-2 Chippewas.
Yeah, that was a good 2-ball pitch there. It was just a low fastball trying to get, a swing from Webb, but coming back with it front door breaking ball, trying to land a slider on that back foot, just missed.
Great first pitch strike on the outer corner. 0-1. Aiden Wright double and drove in a run his last time up. Central Michigan has won 3 straight games dating back to that Marshall contest on Wednesday. They've been on the road for almost an entire week. Practiced here in Athens on Thursday, coming over from Marshall. As the wind continues to pick up, gusting from right to left if you're sitting behind home plate. 0-2. Ground ball knocked right back up the middle. 1 run is in. Another scores. Piasecki and then Nathan Ball. And it's a 2-run single for Aiden Wright. He has 3 RBIs in the game. 6-2 Central Michigan.
That's so deflating there for Dylan Masters. After fighting so hard in that at-bat against Bryson Webb and surrendering the walk. Just watching that ball dribble right past his leg, and we are going to have a mound visit here for the Bobcats.
Tim Brown making his way to the mound. Ohio pitching coach who has been around the block, stops at Eastern Illinois, USC Upstate, Lincoln Memorial, George Washington, Coppin State, Siena College. He's in his 4th season as the pitching coach here at Ohio, and it looks like Dylan Masters' day is done. Tough outing for the Southpaw, who came into this game with a 2.70 earned run average. We'll take a quick break, tell you about the new pitcher when we come back as we continue the top of the 3rd. Only 1 out, and Central Michigan leads 6-2 here at Bob Wrenn Stadium. Back at Bob Wrenn Stadium, tough spot here for the Ohio Bobcats. Already given up 3 runs in this inning, 1 out. Zach Knowlton at the plate. And the first pitch breaking ball misses inside, ball 1. The new pitcher for Ohio is Trey Barkman, 6'1" right-hander from Kidron, Ohio, out of Waynedale High School. ground ball slowly struck towards second. Matt Einich just decides to get the easy out at first. 2 down. Zach Knowlton is retired. Second and third now with 2 outs for Mikey Murphy. So Dylan Masters, Charlie, not the outing he expected. He came in with a 2.70 ERA and was a bit sporadic in this outing.
Yeah, you can close the book on Masters. 50 pitches through 2 1/3 with 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 9 hits allowed, 6 runs, all of them earned. And Barkman coming into this one, 4.35 ERA. He's 1-1 so far on the season after pitching 10 1/3. He's got 5 runs surrendered, all of them earned. 10 walks so far on the season for Trey Barkman. So similar to how the Ohio approached this game with Kostick, look to see Central Michigan being a little more patient at the plate and allowing Barkman to throw more pitches.
Those runners on base are Dylan Masters' responsibility, so his runs allowed total isn't quite in a finalized state just yet. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mikey Murphy. 3 hits yesterday. Here's the 2-1. Outside, 3-1.
Yeah, Barkman here is struggling with controlling his breaking ball. You saw that first pitch running inside, kind of the back foot of Knowlton.
And this ball is clobbered down the left field line. Extra bases for Mikey Murphy. It is a 2-run double, and Central Michigan has its fingerprints all over this series. 8-2 here in the third, as they're eyeing a series sweep after taking the doubleheader yesterday.
And it's the second time in this inning that Central Michigan's been able to capitalize with runners on base. We saw Aiden Wright with a 2-run single, or 2 RBI single, and Mikey Murphy following it up there. 10 hits so far through 2 2/3. And as we mentioned, earlier in the broadcast, Ohio out-hitting teams and still finding a way to come up short. Not the case this time around, as Central Michigan has just been all over this Bobcat pitching staff.
Cole Prout was hit by a pitch.
Yeah.
He has been a ball magnet this weekend. Cole Prout has been hit 4 times this weekend.
As long as you can get them on base, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
So Central Michigan has batted around. They have made the third inning their home this weekend. They scored 11 runs in the third inning in game 1 of this series. Trey Barkman delivers. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Trey Barkman played baseball, basketball, and golf while at Waynedale High School. Was a captain on the baseball and basketball team. That pitch gets away from him, and the runners advance. Mikey Murphy to third, Cole Prout to second. Caden Smith led off this inning with a double, and he is back for more. The very talented shortstop who was a two-way guy in high school, and Coach Sable didn't rule it out that he would envision seeing Caden Smith perhaps being a two-way guy throughout his college career. He did throw a perfect game in high school in the Division IV state championship game, the first perfect game in MHSAA finals history. But his bat has been the story of his early college career. 1 ball and 1 strike, Barkman deals. Outside, 2-1.
Yeah, Barkman's been missing low and outside on his fastball, as we mentioned earlier, how he had trouble controlling his breaking stuff. And Trey Cassie's gonna have to look alive behind the plate there, as we saw that pass ball.
This ball is hit over Brady Alexander's head. And Caden Smith with 2 RBIs. He has 2 doubles in this inning, and it is 10-2 Central Michigan.
Just barreling that one up, Caden Smith got the pitch he wanted, on the inner third, and drove that one, right over Brady Alexander's head. I don't know if Alexander thought he had a chance at that ball. Maybe he misread it, but that one hit about halfway up the wall there and took a big hop, allowing Prout to score all the way from first. And Central Michigan has blown this game wide open.
Look, they are a team on paper. If you look at some of the numbers and their roster, they're a really young team. They only have 5 seniors, and they've got 23 newcomers on the roster. So Coach Zabel did say he knows it's going to take some time, but the one thing he said he liked from his squad is they're curious. They want to learn, and they want to know every single thing possible to grow and be successful.
Another 3-0 count here. We saw it earlier in the inning to Mikey Murphy. That's a good pitch there on the inside half. Way to locate his fastball, just about belt high. Battling back here, 3-1. Same exact count we saw there for Mikey Murphy, just seeing pitches.
Fly ball into left, still carrying. The wind pushes it back, and Brady Alexander makes the catch at the wall. And that is not a cushioned outfield wall. There's a lot of wood. It's a wooded wall throughout the outfield, and Brady Alexander, it looks like he is okay after hitting the wall pretty hard. The wind, again, there's a jet stream out to left field, and that's what took it back towards the wall. But makes the catch, and Brady looks like he's all right. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning after this. 10-2 lead for Central Michigan, trying to complete the sweep here in Athens. Ohio has work to do, down 10-2 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Back with Charlie James, I'm Sam Hyman. 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up, starting with Ben Slanker. But Charlie, how about that inning Central Michigan had? Their offense has been top tier all weekend long.
Yeah, aggressive base running and crystal clear vision at the plate, combined with 3 doubles, and that'll get the job done. 10-2 is your score here as we start the bottom of the 3rd.
Central Michigan scored 14 runs in game 1 on 13 hits. And then in game 2, it was a pitcher's duel tied at 1 through 6 innings. And then Cole Prout launched a 3-run homer, and that broke the 1-1 tie. And Justin Morgan had one of the best bullpen outings of the season. Heck, Coach Zabel said it was the best so far this season. Justin Morgan, 4 innings, didn't allow a run. Ben Slanker working on a 1-ball, 2-strike count right now.
And 3 straight fastballs here from Kostick. Saw him come inside, Slanker fouled it off, and then find the outside half, missed that one low. And same kind of pitch there. Took a little bit of heat off of it. 2-2 to Slanker. Yet to find, a pitch low. all these have been kind of logo height, belt height. See if Kostick mixes it up here with an off speed.
Slanker fights it off and sends it towards the Hocking River. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ben Slanker, who has become an everyday outfielder for Craig Moore's team this season. He only played in 14 games last season. This is his 18th start this season, hitting above .313 coming into the weekend. Reaches and pokes this one towards short. Shift was on. Caden Smith makes the play. 1 out.
And we noticed that earlier, how Slanker kind of closed off his stance to combat the shift put on there by Central Michigan, but not able to push that one far enough right into the teeth of this Chippewa defense. 1 down.
Nick Dolan. 10-game hitting streak for the redshirt senior. Takes inside. 0-1 on the corner.
As Kostick's been doing a great job here in this inning, getting ahead in counts. We saw it there to Slanker with a high inside fastball. Would have been outside to Slanker, inside to Dolan. 1-1.
Ohio has 2 hits in this game. They came at the very beginning of the game. The first 2 batters, Matt Einich and J.R. Nelson. And nothing since. Strike 2.
It's a great breaking ball there from Kostick. Starting it out, on the inside half and just letting it run away from Dolan. Still ended up catching that bottom, outside corner.
A.J. Kostick, the redshirt junior from Arizona. Curveball misses outside.
Trying to keep Nick Dolan guessing here. He came fastball inside with the first pitch of the at-bat, and then 2 running away. See what he does here.
The 2-2 pitch. Popped up on the infield. And the shortstop, Caden Smith, calls off Aaron Piasecki. That wind is playing some tricks on these fielders today. 2 down.
Let's bring up Jackson Calthron, who reached on or was hit by a pitch, ended up reaching. And after he worked a great at-bat, it ended up being only a 2-1 count, but Calthron was able to foul off pitch after pitch, as he's been very valuable in the bottom half of this lineup as a designated hitter.
Strike 1 to Jackson. Central Michigan, their record certainly doesn't indicate how much potential they have. Mentioned that they took the first 2 games of this series, so they're 2-0 in MAC play right now. The last team to get MAC play underway had the bye last weekend, and they're a team that historically has been very, very good. 15-time MAC regular season champions, 4-time MAC tournament champs dating back to 2022. That's the last MAC championship they won. So just because they got off to this slow start doesn't mean they can't make some noise. Looking at the Mid-American Conference right now, Ball State's 4-0, Bowling Green's 4-0. Central Michigan, the only other team that is undefeated in conference play. We're very early. 0-2. A.J. Kostick delivers, and it's fouled off.
It's another good couple of fouled off pitches there from Jackson Calthron, somebody who is a little bit more on the contact side rather than power, although he can certainly muscle a ball out there into the outfield, especially with this wind drifting out to left field.
Hitting .262 this season in 15 starts. DHing today, switches with Trey Cassidy behind home plate. Fly ball into left, still going back, the wind. That Wren stream at Bob Wren Stadium. Jackson Cawthron with his 3rd home run of the season, a solo shot. And it's 10-3.
Right on cue, Jackson Cawthron. We said he's a little bit more on the contact side than power, but there he goes, muscling a ball out of here. And Ohio with a little bit of life here in the bottom of the 3rd. 10-3 your score. 2 down in the inning here. We'll see what Paulie Mancino can do as the bottom half of this Ohio lineup is going to have to come up big here.
Two home runs for Ohio in this game. J.R. Nelson back in the first. And now Jackson Cawthron. Here's Paulie Mancino, sophomore from Westlake, Ohio. He's hitting 321 this season and tripled yesterday.
That's another pass ball getting by Aiden right there. And we saw it with Trey Cassidy in that last inning. The backstop here does not bounce at all. It hits this green pad here, along the backstop, and the ball just dies. So having a ball get away, especially with the turf and how fast it's going to get back there, is going to allow runners to move up rather easily.
2 balls and no strikes to Paulie Mancino. Pulled foul.
Mancino flew out to center to end the first inning. Putting together a pretty good at-bat here.
A.J. Kostick delivers, and the 2-1 is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. A.J. Kostick, the 3rd starter this weekend for Central Michigan. Still slowly getting back in a groove after missing all of last season due to Tommy John surgery. 3-1 is lifted high into the overcast sky, and it drops. Tough play over the shoulder, throw to second late. Mancino hustling all the way from home plate to second. That was a really difficult play over the shoulder. Aaron Piasecki tried to make it to second baseman, and that's not easy. Typically, you'll see the outfielders, they'll take charge because they don't have to retreat on those shallow fly balls.
But the fact that the wind's blowing so hard out in the left field means that the outfielders have to play back. They have to respect the fact that, even a simple pop fly could end up leaving the yard, like we just saw there with Jackson Cawthron, as we're going to get a mound visit here from Central Michigan. But good heads-up play there by Paulie Mancino. Never stopped running, and that's kind of a hallmark of this Ohio team, is the hustle that they have. Even on walks, they're hustling down to first base. And right there, that's why you never give up on a play there.
Just a mound visit, so A.J. Kostick stays out there.
They're going to call that a single, and he advanced on an error. The runners in scoring position again with 2 outs here for Ohio. They've been able to capitalize once, but usually nothing doing for Ohio when they get down with 2 outs. We'll see if they get a little bit more aggressive on the base pass here. Mancino's certainly not slow.
Yeah, he's got wheels. Wes Lugg takes a strike, 0-1. Wes Lugg struck out his first time up. From Huntersville, North Carolina, just north of Charlotte, out of Huff High School. 3rd start of the season. 1-1.
And just to credit how consistently good Central Michigan's defense has been. Only 1 strikeout in this game for Kostick. So,
yeah, Ohio actually has the fewest number of strikeouts than anyone else in the Mid-American Conference. They've done a really good job of staying disciplined and putting the ball in play regardless of the outcome. The 2-1 is crushed foul into Ohio's bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was a ball that Wes Lugg would have loved to see land fair, because in that left field corner, there's just so much space with the wind whipping up over there, and you got Ohio's bullpen, especially given the fact that Murphy for Central Michigan out there in left is playing so far to center field. Big opportunity here for Wes Lugg.
2-2 pitch. Fought off and drifting back towards the press box, still 2-2. Really important game for Ohio. Every MAC game is important, but when you're getting yourself behind the 8 ball here, 0-5 record in league play, every game is magnified. 2-2. Curveball, Westlug takes it for a ride. First class ticket. Goodbye, baseball. Two-run shot for Westlug. It's his second home run of this series, and Ohio is within 5.
If you're going to leave a hanging breaking ball right over the heart of the plate, you should not do it when Westlug is up. We were just talking in his last at-bat about how much power and how much swing velocity he brings, to his at-bats, and that was a real mistake there from A.J. Kostic, leaving a curveball just right over the heart of the plate, and Westlug made no mistake about it, knew it right off the bat.
On one pitch, throw to first in time, and the inning is over. Brady Alexander is retired, and the inning is over. But Ohio gets 3 runs. It's now a 5-run deficit for the Bobcats. They've hit 3 home runs in this game. They lead the MAC in homers. We go to the 4th inning when we come back at Bob Wren Stadium. Top of the 4th inning we go. It is a 5-run game. Ohio responds in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 home runs to trim the deficit to 5. 10-5 is our score, and the new pitcher for Ohio is the left-hander, Ohio State transfer Landon Price. Ground ball to 3rd. Nick Dolan hangs out there and makes the play to retire Jake Catella. 1 pitch, 1 out for Landon Price, the left-hander who comes into this game with an 0-2 record, 5 relief appearances, 8 innings, 8 earned runs, 8 walks, and 6 strikeouts.
Interesting approach here for Central Michigan. First pitch swinging against a brand new pitcher, not letting him work into his pitch count a little bit there as we see a ball just miss on the outside half.
Yeah, for sure. That is interesting. You definitely have seen it throughout the weekend. Central Michigan has been aggressive no matter who they face.
It's a great breaking ball there. Started on the outside half there and just kind of dove down, trying to get Catella to chase.
Strike one.
Same pitch there.
One defensive change in addition to the pitcher, Landon Price. Now playing center field is Trenton Newer. He replaces Paulie Mancino. Ground ball, rolls on the carpet towards second. 2 down. Quickly, 2 down.
And that's one of the easier ground balls that Matt Einich is going to see out there at second base. That one did not leave the turf for about a second. On to first, 2 down in the inning. See if Ohio can capitalize and get their first 1-2-3 inning of this afternoon.
On a turf surface, with the way that ball was hit, there's about a 0% chance it's going to take a funky hop and kick up off the turf. Troublesome spot here for Ohio, but Trenton Newer, who just checked into the game, makes the catch. You're not playing hard enough if your hat doesn't fall off today. And it did fall off right there for Trenton Newer. Covered a lot of ground. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Landon Price. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Right after this, Ohio trails Central Michigan in our series finale, 10-5. Here we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bob Wren Stadium, top of the order for the Bobcats. Matt Einich, J.R. Nelson, and Trey Cassidy. Still A.J. Kostick starter. 74 pitches for A.J. Kostick. A 6'3" redshirt junior from Waddell, Arizona. 3rd season at Central Michigan, but his first season he's been healthy.
Yeah, look for Einich here to be a little bit more passive. I take that back. That's 2 foul balls in a row here.
He's a hitter, Charlie. He doesn't care about the trends of anything. He wants to get a hit. But no, he's been patient throughout the course of his young career so far. He definitely isn't just hacking up there.
Well, just as you noted, 74 pitches for Kostick, trying to get him maybe out of this game or, keep him in with giving up 2 home runs in that last inning. Obviously, Ohio's been seeing his pitches pretty well. So look to see what Ohio elects to do here, as you got to think that Kostick's day is close to an end.
Ground ball through the right side. And Matt Einich with his 2nd hit of the day. He has hit safely in 12 of the 13 games he's played in his young college career.
Einich, his last single, he came around to score, reached on an error his 2nd time up, advanced on a balk. And J.R. Nelson had a 2-run home run back in the 1st inning and then reached on a walk. So these top 2 for Ohio have been, the key producers for the Bobcats.
J.R. Nelson, hot shot into right. Back-to-back hits for the Bobcats, and Matt Einich goes first to third. Ohio in business, first and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. JR's got 2 hits today.
Great aggressive look there from J.R. Nelson. First pitch swinging, first pitch making contact, just froze Matt Einich on the base path there. As you know, that was in danger of being caught by a first baseman for Central Michigan, but just over his head and to his left. But regardless, Einich pretty quick as a second baseman, able to make it all the way to third.
Central Michigan definitely letting A.J. Kostick navigate through these troubling waters. He has gotten out of some jams, stranded 2 on in the first and in the second, but has given up 3 home runs in the game. There goes J.R. Nelson. Throw down to second, and that goes nearly into the outfield. Ohio scores in the process. But also, got to check out J.R. Nelson, who is slow to get up after that slide into second base. He is up and appears to be okay, which is a great sign.
Yeah, that was a relatively predictable play there from Ohio. Given the present situation, you're down 5, or now you're down 4. Was down 5 at the time. Being a little bit more aggressive with base running, knowing that that throw down is probably going to score Einich, as we're going to see a pitching change here from the Chippewas.
Jake Sable heading to the mound, and A.J. Kostick just not enough to get out of this jam. He has sort of flirted with a bunch of different situations that have been uneasy today, and he will come out of this game. So we have a pitching change. We'll take a quick break and come back to continue the bottom of the fourth inning. Ohio only down by 4 now in our series finale. New pitcher for Central Michigan here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jake Brown relieves A.J. Kostick. Nobody out for Ohio in the bottom of the fourth inning. 10-6 lead for Central Michigan series finale. J.R. Nelson at second. Jake Brown, second relief appearance this weekend. That is a strike, 1-2. Jake Brown only threw 4 pitches in his relief appearance yesterday, so clearly not enough. He needs to get back out there.
Yeah, that was a good pitch there from Brown. You see he's kind of got that 10 o'clock arm angle, allows him to come down across inside the left-handers as Trey Cassidy fouls one off himself. And Jake Brown coming into this game, 8.31 ERA on the season. He's 1-0. He's pitched, as you mentioned, 4 1/3 inning with 4 pitches yesterday. He's allowed 4 earned runs so far this season, 5 walks and 4 strikeouts, surrendering 1 home run on the season, given the fact that that's how Ohio has scored all their runs, as a stat of note here for Jake Brown.
Jake Brown from Rockford, Michigan, sophomore, 6'3", 210 pounds. And Cassidy did not go around, 2-2. Two-strike approach has been really good this season, according to Ohio head coach Craig Moore.
Yeah, great look there from Trey Cassidy, understanding that Central Michigan pitching has been, missing low, and it's been called pretty evenly across the board.
Just misses outside, full count.
Force a full count on the first at-bat of the game here for Jake Brown. It's definitely something that Ohio would like to see. Allow, Ben Slanker and Nick Dolan, Jackson Catherine down the lineup to see just a little bit more action out of Jake Brown.
Fouled off. Trey Cassidy coming into today, .342 batting average in 17 starts. Feels a lot more confident at the plate this season, mentally and physically. 3-2, and that is ball 4. Gets away from the catcher right. J.R. Nelson advances to third, and Ohio, they really got a chance to make noise and get back in this game. Nobody out.
And who do you want coming to the plate is the team's leader in home runs, Ben Slanker. And J.R. Nelson heads up base running there. As we mentioned earlier, a ball got by Trey Cassidy, hit the backstop, and just died. Same thing happened here to Aiden Wright. If it touches that green pad, it's not going anywhere, which is going to allow base runners to move up pretty easily. And we saw it right there, J.R. Nelson. Runners on the corners for the Bobcats.
1 ball and no strikes to Ben Slanker. He has a MAC leading 7 home runs already this season.
Yeah, watch for Brown to be working a little bit to the outside of the plate here. As we mentioned earlier, Slanker loves to pull balls into right field, and most of those happen to leave the yard.
Ben Slanker gets underneath this one. Shallow left field. Mikey Murphy makes the catch. J.R. Nelson tags. The throw is well off and cut off. Ohio gets another run. Sacrifice fly RBI for Ben Slanker. 10-7 now with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th.
Heads up base runner there from J.R. Nelson, able to tag Mikey Murphy's throw just off. And they're going to appeal over to third base. And he did tag up. J.R. Nelson did tag up. And there's a good job there from Webb, the Chippewa third baseman, just to slow things down and not allow Slanker to advance, or excuse me, Cassidy to advance any further down there at first base.
Nick Dolan 0 for 2 today at the plate, and watches a first pitch strike.
A little bit of trickery there from Aiden Wright behind the plate, setting up outside, calling for a fastball right over the heart of the plate. Strike 1 to Nick Dolan.
One ball and 1 strike. Ohio trying to get back in the win column. 0-5 record in league play. Picked 8th in the MAC preseason poll, but they have had a lot of big moments this year. Their offense has been pretty darn consistent, hitting close to 300. 295 batting average for the Bobcats this season compared to Central Michigan hitting 250. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the wind picking up here at Bob Wren Stadium. And Jake Brown overthrows that one towards the backstop and stops. Trey Cassidy thought maybe, but wisely comes to a halt on the wild pitch.
And we saw that earlier, allowing J.R. Nelson to move up. Trey Cassidy taking advantage of the very same thing here. These breaking balls have been missing pretty wildly here. Is this, this 10 o'clock arm slot here working against Jake Brown.
He gets Nick Dolan, though, to chase on some junk. Much needed out for the Chippewas. 2 down.
This is another situation here. 2 out in the inning, runner on second. Jackson Calthron went yard his last time up. Just poked one over that left field wall. It's where all the home runs for Ohio have landed. And we'll see what he can do here with Trey Cassidy out there at second.
Jackson Cawthron lines this one, and it's snatched out of thin air. Caden Smith hangs on, and the inning is over. A screaming line drive. Cawthron is robbed. And that is the end of 4 innings. But Ohio continues to creep closer and closer. They've scored 5 unanswered runs, down by 3, 10-7 the score. We go to the 5th next here in Athens. Fifth inning we go here at Bob Wren Stadium. Back with Charlie James, I'm Sam Hyman. Landon Price gets back on the mound, worked a quick top of the 4th inning. And there's a first pitch strike to Aiden Wright. Central Michigan looking for the series sweep to get to 3-0 in league play.
And this is going to be a big 5th inning here for Ohio, especially when they come up to bat with, after 5 innings being considered a complete game, and rain coming in here in the next 30 minutes, or expected to at least. Big spot here for Landon Price and the Bobcats.
5 innings is what is considered a complete game if rain does come in and ruins the party. But we are here in the top of the 5th. Right now, 1-2 is lifted into shallow center field. And there's Trenton Newer, who just checked into the game a couple of innings ago. Landon Price has retired 4 straight.
That's got to feel good for Ohio, knowing that he's had 3 RBIs in this game and 2 doubles, being able to sit him down in short order. Good start here to the 5th.
Zach Knowlton at the plate for Central Michigan. One ball and 1 strike. Zach Knowlton from Olathe, Kansas. Had a great fall, according to head coach Jake Sable. And he is set to play in the Northwoods League this summer with the Wausau Woodchucks. Already has his summer plans in order. Northwoods League, a really good summer ball opportunity for college athletes in baseball. Knowlton looking at a 1 ball, 2 strike count right now. Fly ball down the right field line, could be playable. Now it goes back into fair ground, and it winds up in Matt Einich's mitt. Boy, that was swirling and swirling. Didn't know who was going to catch that ball. And there are 2 down.
And that was probably a smart play there from Matt Einich. He could see the ball the whole way. He was coming from his right, running across and making the play, as opposed to Slanker out there in right having to run a long way and Lug having to backpedal. So smart play there from Einich. 2 down in the inning.
Mikey Murphy's turn. And it's 1-1. Landon Price has retired all 5 batters he has faced so far in this game. Matt Einich briefly stumbles and throws the ball away. Looked like it was going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning, but Mikey Murphy with some speed, and Matt Einich stumbled a little bit. Didn't look like he bobbled the ball, but just stumbled, and the inning continues. Right now, it's considered an infield single. Cole Prout at the plate, 2 singles and a hit by pitch in this game. Cole Prout takes on the inside corner, strike 1. A dangerous hitter. 2 home runs yesterday, 7 RBIs.
Now that Ohio's kind of made this game a little bit more close, Drake Assey behind the plate is going to have to look alive here. He's thrown out 2 Chippewas already.
Line drive into right field. Cole Prout with a 3-hit day. And Mikey Murphy goes first to third. 13th hit of the game for the Chippewas. And a long single for Cole Prout.
Cole Prout has been an incredible piece in this Chippewa lineup. Like you said, 3 hits on the day and reaching safely, getting hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. But it's got to be so relieving just to have somebody as consistent as him that has not only the power to leave the yard, but the contact ability to just put balls in play. Hitting second takes a lot of the load off of the rest of the lineup.
Here's Caden Smith, who had the big 2-run double in the 3rd inning. He actually had 2 doubles in the 3rd inning, but one of them drove in 2 runs. Freshman from Lake Isabella, Michigan. And this is a skipper, bounces off of J.R. Nelson's mitt. Tough, screaming hop. And a run scores. Mikey Murphy crosses home. That goes down as a hit. Really tough play for J.R. Nelson on the infield. And it is 11-7 now.
And we saw, the other extreme of that, of being on turf when that ball was grounded to Matt Einich back in the 4th inning. didn't even leave the surface. And that one, you see the other side of that coin where you get a screaming, hopping ball just right off of J.R. Nelson's mitt. It's a pretty good effort just to knock it down and keep it in the infield.
It was. He was sort of shell-shocked by the bounce and velocity that was behind that baseball. But to your point, he knocked it down. That was definitely important. Aaron Piasecki, ground ball. J.R. Nelson flips it over to first, and it is in time, just in time to get Piasecki, and the inning is over. Central Michigan adds 1 run, 11-7 our score, heading to the bottom of the 5th inning next in our series finale, Maction from Bob Wren Stadium in Athens, Ohio. Trenton Newer leads off for Ohio in the bottom of the 5th inning. Came in as a defensive replacement a couple of innings ago. The graduate student from Nicholasville, Kentucky. Back with Charlie James, I'm Sam Hyman. 11-7 lead for the Chippewas in the series finale. Newer, a graduate student out of Lexington Catholic, playing in his 13th game of the season. He started 10 this year, hitting .278. 2 balls and no strikes. Jake Brown, relief pitcher for Central Michigan.
We saw Jake Brown missing, wildly to the left-handed batter's box. Missing again right there. 2-0.
Big cut and a miss. Foul tipped, actually. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ohio dropped game 1, 14-7. Out hit Central Michigan in that game, though, 16-13. And then lost in game 2, 4-1. Trenton Newer launches it into right field. Cole Proutz is there for out number 1. Game 2 was very tense throughout the course of, especially the first 6 innings. 1-1 was the score through 6 innings, and then Cole Prout broke the ice. 3-run homer, no doubter, to give Central Michigan a 4-1 lead. Ohio is within striking distance, but they gotta find a way to build consistent at bats in the same inning. Here's Wes Lugg. Looks at a strike. Wes Lugg, 2-run homer his last time up.
The fact that Brown's fastball runs, to the left is going to help him out here against Wes Lugg. On that home run at bat, he got one inside, middle inside, and was able to just crush it over the left field wall. Finds himself down 0-2 in this at bat. It's going to be interesting to see if that power translates when he tries to go oppo here, when he's forced to go oppo here.
Interesting leg kick, a unique leg kick we hadn't seen there by Jake Brown. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just trying to change up the tempo a little bit, maybe. Keep Westlaw guessing.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Looking at Ohio's schedule so far this season, they went to Wofford to open up 2025, got swept in that series, then dropped 2 out of 3 at West Georgia. Then their first home series against Butler, they took 2 out of 3 against the Bulldogs. 2-2, swung on and missed. Aiden Wright throws over to first, and there are 2 down. And then Ohio opened back play last weekend against Bowling Green at home, and they got swept by the Falcons, but every game was close, decided by 3 runs or less. Ohio out-hit Bowling Green 33-32. The big difference was those late innings. Coach Moore said the message to the team coming into this weekend, we got to find a way to finish games. Don't let the first weekend define us. And they've done a better job offensively being consistent throughout the game, but Central Michigan's offense has been right there and that much more consistent. Ball 2 to Brady Alexander, looking for his first hit in this game.
Yeah, Alexander, couple pretty good at-bats back in the first inning, grounded out to second and grounded out to third to end the third inning.
Brady Alexander knocks this ball down the right field line. Extra bases for the freshman and maybe 3. He rounds third. Alexander takes his helmet off. Throw to third is in time. What a relay, and it started all the way back in right field. Cole Prout to Aaron Piasecki. And then the throw to third in time, and the inning is over. We go to the 6th inning next. A huge momentum shift right there by the Central Michigan defense. Top of the 6th inning is next here in Athens. Central Michigan leads 11-7 here in the top of the 6th inning now. Series finale at Bob Wren Stadium. Jake Catella at the plate. First pitch swinging and shoots a 9-iron into center field. It is caught. 1 pitch, 1 out. Jake Catella has swung at the first pitch 3 times today. And that'll bring up Nathan Ball, Central Michigan sophomore from Bay City, Michigan. Looks at a pitch that just misses low, ball 1. Nathan Ball in his first season at Central Michigan, started his college career at Eastern Michigan. Played 16 games last season for the Eagles. Hit .286.
And to your point earlier, Coach Sobel telling his team that no matter where you are in the lineup, you are expected to produce. And Nathan Ball is an example of that, hitting 6 with the best batting average on this Chippewa team.
He had 4 hits yesterday, most by any Central Michigan player in the doubleheader. 3-1.
Missing low here, you see Price trying to work the outside half of the plate here. Force balls into left field. The wind has died down, certainly.
And a 1-out walk. So if you're just joining us, Dylan Masters started this game for Ohio. He only went 2 1/3 innings, and this is a guy that had a 2.70 ERA. And by far today, his most challenging outing of the season to this point in his 5th start. 2 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs, all earned. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Bunted up the third base line, foul. Trey Barkman came in just 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs. And now it's Landon Price's turn. He's been at it for 2 1/3.
And Bryson Webb, been a pretty good contributor on the scoreboard, but the stat sheet not so kind to him. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to center to end the 4th inning. He has a walk and was hit by a pitch. Came around to score on both of those. So contributing certainly on the base pass, Bryson Webb. Webb also responsible for completing that excellent relay to end the last inning.
My goodness, that was something else.
Yeah, excellent catch and tag applied there by Bryson Webb, the third baseman here for the Chippewas.
The relay was started by Cole Prout in the right field corner. Threw it to Aaron Piasecki, and then Piasecki threw it to third and gunned down the freshman Brady Alexander. That misses ball 3. And Landon Price, check that ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Time is called. Landon Price was the one that called time. Just needs a breather. He started his college career at Ohio State and transferred to Ohio. Price a 9.00 ERA in 8 innings. Misses there, 3-1.
Trying to come inside with the fastball. Starting that pitch out about belt high and letting it die. Trying to get some swings and misses here. Landon Price just missing inside. I like the idea, though.
3-1 is fouled off. Full count from Landon Price. That's never a good sign. And here comes Aiden Wright, who has 3 RBIs and 2 hits today.
As you mentioned, not ideal surrendering that base there to Bryson Webb. Only 1 walk coming into this inning for the Bobcats was also surrendered to Bryson Webb. He has 2 on the day. But a couple of hit batters and 3 walks now for Ohio's pitching staff. Combine that with 14 hits from Central Michigan, and that's a recipe for disaster.
And Landon Price now with a really difficult situation. Bases loaded after he hits Aiden Wright. And only 1 out. Here comes Zach Knowlton.
The 4th hit batter for Ohio so far in this game, and we are going to have a meeting at the mound here. Landon Price had good control over his fastball early, and then here in this 6th inning, lost it just a hair. Bases loaded.
And a tough batter coming up for the Chippewas. Zach Knowlton has hit safely in 10 games, 10 straight games. Junior from Olathe, Kansas, out of Spring Hill High School. Started out at Highland Community College, and now he's in his first season at Central Michigan, a Central Michigan team that has 23 newcomers on the roster. Just a mound visit. Landon Price remains out there. Tim Brown heads back into the dugout.
I like this move here from Ohio, showing you got some faith here in your guy, Landon Price. He was able to work pretty quickly through that 5th inning, only allowing 1 run. But he's got bases loaded here with 1 down. See if his defense can pick him up here.
Strike 1. Always good sign with a first pitch strike.
That was a great pitch there, just on the inside high corner. Corner infielders are in.
Zach Knowlton charges it into left, and Brady Alexander snatches it. Heads up base running by Nathan Ball. He tagged up and scored. Ohio thought he left early, but he didn't, and it's a sacrifice fly, RBI for Zach Knowlton. That could have been a whole lot worse. Brady Alexander saved about 3 runs.
And we saw that earlier in the game, as Brady Alexander may have misread a ball just a hair and allowed it to skip off the wall and score a couple runs for Central Michigan, but they're able to get back on the ball, left his feet, and made the play, saving Landon Price a whole lot of heartache.
Ball 1 to Mikey Murphy.
Landon Price been relying on his fastball here for the last couple at-bats. You saw what ended up being ball 4 to to Bryson Webb, was that big looping breaking ball we just saw there. He's yet to hit with that one.
2-0. Mikey Murphy. 2-run double back in the 3rd. Infield single his last time up. Sophomore from Minooka, Illinois. Landon Price checks over at 2nd. And there is no balk called, but the home plate umpire and our umpiring crew, Michael Schultz, Scott Wyckoff, and Bob Howard, all 3 guys were just having a conversation with Landon Price, saying that his pickoff there has to be quicker when he breaks his hands, but we won't see any more of Landon Price today. With 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning, Tim Brown makes the pitching change, and we will take a break. 12-7 our score. Central Michigan leading Ohio in the series finale here in Athens. New pitcher for Ohio as we continue the top of the 6th inning. Dylan Eggle, the 6'2" right-hander out of Central Noble High School, transfer from Southeastern Community College. He has had a tough go at it this year so far. 7 appearances in 7 2/3 innings, a 12.91 ERA, but he's got to block all that out, live in the present moment right here. And only 1 out to get out of this 6th inning.
Mikey Murphy's going to step back in. Maybe a little bit of gamesmanship from Ohio, pulling a pitcher in the middle of an at-bat and kind of changing the mindset that Mikey Murphy's got to approach this with. Eggle had a rough time out against Bowling Green, made 2 appearances in 2 losing efforts.
Well, here he throws 4 pitches and a fly ball into shallow left, and J.R. Nelson backs up and makes a difficult catch. And the inning is over. Central Michigan adds another run, though, and they take a 12-7 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning right after this. We can't get enough of baseball here at Bob Rent Stadium. This is the 3rd game of the weekend, and it's been a fun ride so far, especially for Central Michigan fans. Took 2 games yesterday, up 12-7 here today. We start the bottom of the 6th, and the first pitch misses outside, ball 1 to Matt Einich, the leadoff hitter for Ohio. Top hitter in the MAC right now, freshman from South Lyon, Michigan. That is strike 1. He comes out of Detroit Catholic Central High School, same high school that Trey Cassidy attended. A 2-time first-team All-State selection out of high school. So a highly touted recruit. And he has wasted no time making his presence felt for the Ohio Bobcats.
Yeah, Einich reached base safely 3 times, came around to score twice. And that makes 5 runs scored just from the top 2 hitters, being Einich and J.R. Nelson.
Matt Einich has hit safely in 13 of the 14 games this year. 2-2 pitch coming from Jake Brown. Einich, line drive, base hit into left. Matt Einich has got a 3-hit day, all singles. 3 for 3.
He just does such a good job of putting balls in play that seem to have eyes, and they just find, places to land. That's the 2nd ball that he's hit that's just barely, reached out there in front of Mikey Murphy in left field.
He can
Matt
take,
Einich, just continues a stellar run.
he can really hit the ball to all all parts of the yard. Bluffs a steal. That's what makes him so dynamic, is no matter where you throw it, you paint it on the outside corner, top of the zone, bottom of the zone, inside corner. He's going to find a way to put it in a spot you are not in the field. J.R. Nelson, he is 2 for 2 today with a walk, a home run, and a single.
You look for Einich to kind of stay close to first base here. Base runners are at a premium for Ohio right now, being down 5 this late in the game.
J.R. Nelson, ground ball to short, and a double play chance. It happens. Funky bounce, Caden Smith, 6-3 double play. Matt Einich bluffed the steal, and it ultimately cost him. Had he maybe gone off the pitch there, would have broken up that double play, but 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
It's a good job there from Caleb Smith, not only fielding the ball, but navigating, that bag. There was a lot of traffic in there with Matt Einich coming in and delivering a strike over to first base for the double play. That was bang, bang down there, down to first base.
Trey Cassidy singles up the middle. Yeah, that was standstill traffic at second base. And Caden Smith, he had to hop over a car and throw to first. Trey Cassidy, his first hit of the game with 2 outs. And here comes Ben Slanker. Slanker leads this team in home runs. Huge turnaround from last year to this year, from a reserve to an everyday starter in 2025. Ben Slanker out of Canfield High School near Youngstown, Ohio, about 3.5 hours from here. Huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan. He loves Andrew McCutchen. That's a good player to look up to.
Yeah, he's got some McCutchen-esque skills out there in right field. We saw him against Bowling Green make 2 incredible plays, running basically all the way into center field to rob a couple Falcons of extra bases as he watches ball 2 go low and outside.
Wind starting to pick up again here at Bob Wren Stadium. Upwards of 30 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Slanker tags this one, dead center field, back and off the wall. All the way around the bases, Trey Cassidy scores. Ben Slanker with nobody at third base, a race to the bag, and he dives in safely. Heads up base running by Ben Slanker, and Ohio is within 4 runs on an RBI double, and Slanker advances to third. Wow, that double play. How big is that double play now from Central Michigan to potentially limit the damage?
Yeah, that's something else there from Trey Cassidy, recognizing the fact that nobody was covering third. And Webb had to get out into left field to back up that throw. The ball took a funky bounce out there in deep center field. Ended up kicking almost into right, causing Knowlton to have to adjust. And Ben Slanker gets the Bobcats back in business here. Runner on third with 2 down in the inning.
Nick Dolan is 0 for 3. That is up and in, ball 1. Dolan on a 10-game hit streak right now. Ohio threatening, runner at third with 2 down. Jake Brown, the reliever, fires home. And a pop-up on the infield, first base side. Communication. Aaron Piasecki makes the catch with his hat off. And the inning is over. So an inning that could have been a whole lot worse for Central Michigan. They turned a massive double play. And we go to the 7th inning right after this. 12-8 the score. Ohio trails Central Michigan here at Bob Wren Stadium. starting the top of the 7th. Back here at Bob Wren Stadium, 12-8 is our score. Dylan Eggle remains out on the mound for Ohio, faces Cole Prout, who has 3 singles and a hit by pitch today. Ball 1. Looking across the Mid-American Conference today, a lot of action this weekend. How about Toledo and Ball State? 6-6 is the score in the 8th inning. Ball State is undefeated in conference play, 4-0 record. That's a good game in the 8th inning. Ball State they are the MAC preseason favorites, 13-5 record right now, 4-0 in conference play. And then 2 games that have gone final. Western Michigan beat Eastern Michigan 14-4. Cole Prout crushes this ball into center, but right at Trenton Newer, 1 away. And Bowling Green beats Akron. 7 straight wins for the Falcons. It's going to be fun to watch. Always fun to watch MAC baseball. You never know what's going to happen. The Western Michigan Broncos won the MAC tournament championship last year, and they were picked 5th. That's why you got to play every single game all the way through. It doesn't matter what you're seeded, what happens throughout the regular season, just the momentum and the build-up towards the MAC tournament in May.
Couple of good pitches there from Eggle. Getting Prout to fly out to center field, and a ball that here's another one out in the center field.
Left center and extra bases, Caden Smith. The double king today. He's got 3 doubles and 4 hits in this game.
And that was another good piece of hitting. Eggle relying on his fastball early, much like Landon Price. And Caden Smith having a whale of a day. As you mentioned, 3 doubles on 4 hits. A little bit more about Eggle coming into this game with a 1-2 record on the season. He's allowed 13 hits. 13 runs also have crossed during his time, with 11 of them being earned. He only has 2 strikeouts through 7 2/3 innings and has allowed 3 doubles, now 4 doubles, and 1 home run on the season. So he struggled a little bit, keeping the ball in the yard and with extra base hits.
Aaron Piasecki, junior college All-American last season at Kellogg Community College. Ground ball to second. Matt Einich makes the play, and runner advances to third. Caden Smith, 2 down. Caden Smith has had an outstanding freshman season so far. 8 doubles now to lead this Central Michigan team. 3 of them today. Talked earlier about how he initially committed to Kent State and decommitted. And here he is at Central Michigan making a statement. Jake Catella, strike 1.
That's a great pitch there from Eggle. Started it out inside, right about at the rib cage there of Catella, and then let the ball run back towards that left-handed batter's box in there for strike 1.
Jammed right there. Jake Catella didn't have much to do on that swing.
Another really similar pitch. As Eggle kind of having the same arm slot as Jake Brown for the Chippewas, allowing it to run away from righties.
1 ball and 2 strikes. As Central Michigan tries to add some insurance, they have been all over the place offensively. 21 hits in the doubleheader yesterday. They've got 15 hits today. A 1-2. Jammed inside. Ball. Catella didn't go around. 2-2.
That was the pitch that Eggle wanted there. Again, just starting it out inside and letting it run over, over the course of the plate. All fastballs here from the big fella.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dylan Eggle gets his first strikeout of the game, and he strands a runner at third base. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stand up and stretch, and then we'll get back to work in just a moment. 12-8 the score. Ohio down to CMU in the final game of this series here in Athens. Jackson Cawthron leads off the bottom of the 7th inning for Ohio. 12-8 lead for Central Michigan. And Jake Brown remains out there on the mound for the Chippewas. Right-hander deals, and Cawthron, high fly ball into right at the wall. Goodbye! Jackson Cawthron with his 2nd home run in this game, and it's just a 3-run contest.
Jackson Cawthron again picking up right where he left off. Another home run, another solo shot for the designated hitter. Able to sit back on that one, generate a lot of power off that back leg, and explode through that baseball. And Ohio not going away here. Bottom of the 7th, Bobcats are still alive.
Ohio using the home run ball to hang around in this game. Trenton Newer, nice drag bunt, throw to first. Wow, great effort by Bryson Webb, but it's not enough. Newer reaches first on the bunt single.
Excellent effort there from Newer, hustling down the first base line and sliding to be able to get in there safely. Wes Lugg coming up for his 4th appearance of the game, the only time he will have 0 outs, or excuse me, less than 2 outs coming to the plate. Wes Lugg shot a 2-run home run over that left field wall earlier this game.
Ohio has hit 4 home runs in this game, 2 of them off the bat of Jackson Cawthron. Quick time. And Central Michigan with a mound visit right here. Still anybody's game. Just heard somebody in the Ohio dugout say, come on. They still believe. They still have that fight to try to come back in a game that's been an absolute marathon, back and forth. These teams showed the power and the offense in game 1. The final score was 14-7. And here we have another situation with tons of hits. Game 1, 16 hits for Ohio, 13 hits for Central Michigan.
And this is going to be another test here to see if Ohio can truly capitalize with runners on base. As we saw, I mean, yesterday they left 13 runners on base in the first game and 6 in the second. And these timely hits is really what's been causing Ohio problems, unable to capitalize when they have runners on base, but Wes Lugg looking to change that narrative right here, right now.
Trenton Newer at first base. There's a pickoff attempt. Newer has 2 stolen bases this season in 2 attempts. Nice breaking ball. A rare breaking ball we haven't seen much of from Jake Brown.
Certainly, Newer's out there with some speed. But again, in the same situation as in the same situation as earlier in this game, base runners are at a premium here for Ohio, especially given how they've struggled with runners on base. So I wouldn't expect Newer to be going anywhere, but as I say that, he's getting signs from the third base coach.
1 ball and 1 strike. And Westlug lays off. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That was a really good breaking pitch there from Brown. Started it over the middle of the plate. Westlug almost bit on it. It just ran away, and a good job there from the big fella, able to lay off.
Big cut and a miss, strike 2. Jake Brown out of the bullpen. He has thrown over 40 pitches in relief. 3 innings of work out of the pen, plus these 2 batters, Jackson Cawthron and Trenton Newer.
Only the 2nd home run of the season given up by Jake Brown. Is Westlug able to work this pitch count full? And the Ohio dugout getting involved here.
Loudest we've heard them in quite some time. Check over at first.
There's some action down there in the Chippewa bullpen. I believe there's 2 guys throwing down there. So Jake Brown might be at the end of his leash here.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Fouled back. 2-strike approach. We've been talking about it nonstop this weekend. Craig Moore, he said he's liked what he's seen from his guys with 2 strikes. And that tracks because Ohio does have the fewest number of strikeouts out of any MAC team. Ground ball, left side and through. Past the diving Bryson Webb. Bobcats in business, 1st and 2nd with nobody out.
That is an excellent piece of hitting there from Westlug. Able to run the count full, foul off a couple of pitches, make Jake Brown work way harder than he needed to get that out, and then just pound one down, that left side of the infield past Webb. And the Bobcats, runners on 1st and 2nd here. And you got Brady Alexander coming up, and then the top of the lineup here.
Brady Alexander, the freshman from Pennsylvania, line drive, skipping through into right center field. Around the bases we go. And Trenton Newer scores. It's a 2-run game. Brady Alexander delivers with an RBI single. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. 12-10 now. Ohio within 2.
Brady Alexander, first pitch swinging, just jumps all over that fastball and puts it right past that second baseman for Central Michigan. And it looks as if Jake Brown's day is coming to an end here, as Ohio starting to put together some offense.
And we will have a pitching change. 12-10, Central Michigan clinging to a 2-run advantage. Ohio knocking on the door. 2 on, nobody out already. 2 runs home here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. Top of the order for Ohio. And the Bobcats trying to break down this door. Down 12-10. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, nobody out. Runners at first and third. Matt Einich, the leadoff hitter, faces the new pitcher, Max Hammond. Ball gets away. Wes Lugg does not run home, instead stays put. And Brady Alexander moves to second, though.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty smart choice there by Wes Lugg. Not exactly the quickest Bobcat. And that ball did not get all the way back to the backstop there.
Max Hammond, the freshman from Reed City, Michigan, comes into this game. 6 2/3 innings, 8 earned runs. He has had a tough go at it and is being asked to come into a really, really difficult situation against one of the best hitters in the MAC, Matt Einich. Strike one.
That's a really good pitch there from Hammond, working that outside corner. But as we said earlier during Einich's last at-bat, his versatility and his ability to spray it all over the field.
Ground ball to second. Piasecki makes the play. 1 out, but a run scores, and it's a 1-run game. Ohio trailed by as many as 8 runs in this game. They have just scratched and clawed their way back into it. They've outscored Central Michigan 9-2. They've outscored Central Michigan 9-2 since the bottom of the 3rd inning.
The whole infield in here for the Chippewas is
now trying to protect that potential tying run. It is Brady Alexander.
Yeah, he's definitely got some speed to him. Out there in left field, he's been busy. And J.R. Nelson watches strike one go by.
Curveball, grounded foul, strike two. Ohio is down 10-2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And they have outscored Central Michigan 9-2 since. Trying to come back and pick up their first MAC win of the season. 0-5 right now. The 0-2. Line drive belted into right center field. Caught. Zach Knowlton, but it gets the run in, and we are tied at 12. Ohio from 8 runs down. 12-12 our score. Sac fly RBI for J.R. Nelson.
It's a good piece of hitting there from J.R. Nelson, recognizing that all he's got to do is poke it out there in the outfield, and Trenton Neuer has the speed to be able to come home on that. Bobcats never losing their fighting spirit, coming back from down 8 runs. We got a tie ball game here in Athens.
Max Hammond now faces Trey Cassidy, and that is down and in, ball 1. Well, the one thing that Max Hammond can look back on so far here is he's come into the game and recorded 2 outs. Those runs that scored are not his responsibility. So at least getting outs in the process of allowing runs. Brand new game, 12-12 in the bottom of the 7th. Strike one to Trey Cassidy, who is 1 for 3 today with a single, 2 flyouts, and a walk.
There's a good pitch there from Hammond. Starting it in the same spot as the first 2 that ended up running away for balls. And that one in the same boat. But that last pitch just stuck right down the heart of the plate. But he finds himself down 3-1 here as Hammond, as you mentioned, pitching 6 2/3 innings, allowing 8 runs, all of them earned, and 6 walks.
Full count to Trey Cassidy.
This is the second time Trey Cassidy's worked a full count, drew a walk his last time up.
Cassidy coming into today, 342 batting average from the Detroit area. 3-2 up and in, ball 4. Definitely got a sense that Central Michigan was thin in the bullpen today when Jake Brown, who only threw 4 pitches yesterday, was asked to go deep into this game. 3 innings of relief after A.J. Kostick only lasted 3. Ben Slanker steps to the plate. Outside, ball 1.
Working that outside part of the plate. Again, we mentioned how Ben Slanker, many of his home run balls have been out there to right field. And the Chippewas not shifting as dramatically as they were early in this one.
Oh, nice curve.
Excellent breaking ball.
Fools Ben Slanker, 1 ball and 1 strike. Max Hammond, one of 23 newcomers on this Central Michigan roster, trying to find a way to at least head into the dugout and into the 8th inning with the game tied at 12. 2 down, bottom of the 7th inning. Ohio has scored 4 runs in this inning. Started with a Jackson Cawthorn solo home run. 2-2.
You can hear the collective ooh from the crowd here at Bob Wrenn Stadium, because everybody here knows that when Ben Slanker gets a hold of one, it can travel a long way. As we said earlier, leads the team and the conference in home runs.
Yeah, he was right on that pitch. Back to the net, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Max Hammond, the freshman, on the mound. Check over to first. Ohio's bench in that dugout, energized, down 8 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and they have tied this game 12-12. Another check over at first. Trey Cassidy, he is only 1 for 2 this season in stolen bases, but he's getting an aggressive lead with 2 outs. Trying to potentially score on a base hit in the outfield. 2-2. Curveball is shot into right. Cassidy stops at second. And Ohio with runners at first and second base. The inning continues. This is the 9th Bobcat to come to the plate, Nick Dolan. The only Ohio hitter in the lineup without a hit today.
And it would be a heck of a time for him to change that with Trey Cassidy, some real speed out there at second base. Now it's just a great piece of hitting there by Ben Slanker, waiting for his pitch, sitting back on that curveball and putting it in between the first and second baseman. Especially with 2 outs there, that's some pretty clutch hitting.
Strike 1 to Nick Dolan. 0 for 4 in this game. Trey Cassidy at second base. Ben Slanker at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. A.J. Kostick started the game for Central Michigan. Lasted just 3 innings. Allowed 6 earned runs. Central Michigan took the first 2 games of this series. Ohio trying to avoid the sweep. 1-1 is in there for a strike, 1-2.
That's a tough pitch there for Nick Dolan. You've seen those low fastballs being called a ball all day long. Laid off of that one, just caught the lower side of that zone. Nick Dolan allowing Hammond to throw a little more pitches to him than he has seen throughout his last 4 at-bats.
1-2, Nick Dolan drives it deep and far, and that ball is out of here. 3-run blast, Nick Dolan, and from 8 runs down, Ohio leads 15-12 here in the 7th.
What a time for the grad student third baseman to show up here. You were just saying the only Bobcat without a hit today. And he changes that in a big way, putting Ohio back on top for the first time this afternoon. 15-12 your score. Is that one hit off the McDonald's sign out there on the scoreboard. Nick Dolan putting his stamp on this game in a big way. Another big home run hitter at the plate right now. 2 home runs for Jackson Catherine. Both solo shots.
Yeah, he led off this inning with a home run. And all of a sudden, this has completely flipped upside down. Ohio trailed 10-2 early in this game. And they have outscored Central Michigan since the third inning. 13-2.
That's a good pitch there from Hammond. Went outside, breaking ball, came back in with a fastball, and finds that outside high corner. Changing eye levels there for Catherine.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
Last time up, Catherine, of course, that solo home run on the first pitch of his at-bat. Poking the ball out there over the right field wall.
Curveball grounded to first. Ball bobbles it, regathers, and ends the inning. But a big inning. 7 runs for Ohio and 2 home runs. One from Nick Dolan, one from Jackson Catherine. From 8 runs down, Ohio now with the lead, 15-12, heading to the 8th inning next. All right, back here at Bob Wren Stadium. Ohio 15-12. What a game this has been. Craziness in college baseball. Down 8 runs, and the Bobcats have outscored Central Michigan 13-2 since the bottom of the third inning. And this one's still far from over. We've got the top of the 8th inning now, and here comes Nathan Ball. Nathan Ball faces Dylan Eggle, Ohio's 3rd reliever. First pitch swinging and a base hit. Maybe more. Ball rounds first. Hard turn. He stops. Central Michigan is not going to go down without a fight here. Charlie.
That was an excellent effort out there from Slanker, cutting that ball off before it got to the corner and keeping Ball at first. Ball with his first hit of the day. He was 0 for 2 with a walk, and he was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. But good start here for the Chippewas, who are all of a sudden find themselves down 3 runs after leading largely all day long.
Ground ball to third. Nick Dolan throws to second for 1. Einich to first. Not in time, and it gets away. Trey Cassidy throws to second, and he got him. Cassidy, a rocket, this time behind the first base bag. 2 down.
Fantastic play from Trey Cassidy. That one's going to be taught in Little League camps around the country.
You got to go back up.
Got to back him up. And he found the ball right off the wall there and used that arm. He's already hosed two Chippewa base runners down there at second base from behind home plate, but gets down the first base line and gets ball at second. What a play there from the Bobcat catcher.
So in a blink of an eye, 2 outs. Aiden right at the plate. A huge momentum stopper. Central Michigan had the leadoff man aboard, Nathan Ball. And it's strike 2. This is Ohio's second lead of the game. They were up 2-1 after 1 inning. Line drive right at J.R. Nelson. And it's a 1-2-3 inning in a very fascinating way. Trey Cassidy makes an unreal play behind the first base bag after an overthrow. And he throws out Bryson Webb, trying to advance from first to second. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning next. Ohio leads 15-12 in our series finale. Bottom of the 8th inning, Ohio leads 15-12. 17 hits for the Bobcats. Trent Newer leads off the bottom of the 8th inning. Back with Charlie James, Sam Hyman. New pitcher on the mound for Central Michigan, Liam Stumpf. First pitch swinging from Newer, and he shoots it into center. 1 pitch, 1 out. Liam Stumpf, redshirt junior from Dodgeville, Wisconsin. First season at Central Michigan, transferred over from Madison College, a junior college. His record coming into today, 0-4 with 12.1 innings of work. Actually has started 4 games, but has struggled, so moving to the bullpen right now.
It's a little bit of a weird move here from Central Michigan. Understandable because they don't have that many arms available in there. Oh, got him in the head.
And Wes Lugg is down. Hopefully he is okay. It wasn't a fastball, a curveball that caught Wes Lugg on the back of his head. And while they attend to Wes Lugg, we will take a quick break and come back. Hopefully he is okay right now. We'll step aside.
Dangerous high pitch here. Caught Wes Lugg in the helmet. And Cam Bryant, number 11 for Ohio, has come in to pinch run as Wes Lugg made his way to the dugout. And strike one from Stumpf. Liam Stumpf coming into this game 0-4 on the season. He's pitched 12 1/3 innings, 26 hits to his name. He's allowed 21 runs to cross, 17 of them earned. So the defense has buckled a little bit when number 10 in yellow takes the mound.
Yeah, really good sign to see Wes Lugg make his way off the field. He's hopefully okay. Cam Bryant, as you mentioned, pinch running.
Cam Bryant's going to take off
Yeah,
here.
he takes off, and the throw is in time. Strike him out, throw him out. Brady Alexander strikes out, and Cam Bryant is thrown out. So the inning is over, and just like that, we go to the top of the ninth. Ohio is 3 outs away from picking up its first MAC win of the season. We'll be back in a moment for the top of the ninth inning next. Top of the 9th inning we go. Ohio is 3 outs away from picking up its first MAC win of the season after dropping 5 straight to start conference play. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Bobcats. It's the left-hander from Durham, Connecticut, sports management major, redshirt sophomore Colby Pasquarelli comes into this game. Pasquarelli, he's only thrown 1 inning so far. He's given up 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Transfer from Elon. 9 1-2 hitters due up for Central Michigan. Zach Knowlton leads things off as we are underway here in the top of the 9th. Strike 1.
Pasquarelli on the mound now here in the 9th with his chance to pick up his first save of 2025. As you mentioned, giving up 2 runs, both of them earned in his 1 inning of work so far this season. Those runs came by way of a double, which has been the Achilles heel for the Bobcats here so far this afternoon. He misses wide with his 3rd pitch to Knowlton.
If you're just joining us, you missed a whole lot. This movie has been filled with several climaxes. It was a 10-2 Central Michigan advantage. Check swing. Knowlton did not go around. 10-2 lead for Central Michigan after 2.5 innings, and then Ohio turned it around and scratched and clawed, and they've outscored Central Michigan 13-2 since the bottom of the 3rd. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Zach Knowlton is retired. 1 up, 1 down. Central Michigan down to its final 2 outs.
Excellent breaking pitch there from Pasquarelli. He went fastball, both on the inside of the plate, then threw kind of a changeup in there. Started out high around the logo and ended up breaking down towards the knees. Kind of froze Knowlton there, unable to get a good swing on it. 1 down in the top of the 9th.
First pitch swinging. Mikey Murphy lines out to left. 2 quick outs. Colby Pasquarelli is 1 out away from ending this game.
And you can see Ohio's dugout saying nothing over their heads. You can see Alexander out there on the left moving back. Excellent breaking pitch there. Pasquarelli is really on his game here in the top of the 9th.
1 defensive replacement. In addition to Pasquarelli, Dylan Shepard is at first, replacing Wes Lugg. That is strike 2. And Ohio is 1 strike away from 8 runs down. 15-12. Bobcats in front, trying to pick up their first MAC win of the season. The 0-2. Breaking ball. Swing and a miss. Game over. From 8 runs down, Ohio comes back and wins it 15-12, outscoring Central Michigan 13-2 across the final several frames, dating all the way back to the bottom of the 3rd inning. What a ball game. Back and forth, and Charlie, the Bobcats found a way. It was a wild one.
Yeah, while the series overall may have not gone the way the Bobcats wanted, this last game certainly showcased how much grit and determination this team has, putting up 17 hits and allowing 16, but bowing up there in the top of the 9th and in that 8th inning to keep this lead, and 2 home runs off the bat of Jackson Calthron, 1 off the bat of Nick Dolan was the difference makers as Ohio leaves Bob Wren Stadium happy here as they drop this series to Central Michigan, but a lot of positives for the Bobcats moving forward.
All right, so we will take this one back. Ohio will take this one back to the dugout with some good smiles, some good energy, and they close out this series with a victory. We want to thank everyone for joining us throughout the course of today. Shout out to our crew behind the scenes for our analyst, Charlie James. I'm Sam Hyman. 15-12 the final. Ohio wins from 8 runs down. The Bobcats come back and pick up their first MAC win of the season. Ohio is now 5-13 overall, 1-5 in conference play. Central Michigan drops to 5-15 and now 2-1 in Mid-American Conference play. Thanks so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.